Hello, welcome to the Sunday meditation and knowings at the Light Institute of Galisteo and the Sanctuary of Light. I do love that word sanctuary because we all feel that we need some kind of sanctuary in our lives right now. And so for those of you who have not ever joined us before, this is the way we do our meditation. We divide it into 3 parts. And in the first part, we ask our divine higher self, which is the inner voice that you carry, the consciousness that you carry with you, to take a form. And then we ask our higher self to touch our body and enter us, and we sit in meditation. Now, as soon as we have done that, I will make a sort of om sound, and you can push the pause button so that you can meditate for as long as you like. This is the technology of virtual reality. In the second part, we imagine that we're drawing white light from the cosmos down through the top of our heads and extending that white light out into the world. This allows us to open our auric field, our presence, helps us to begin to access our purpose in life. So it's very important, and we use it in many ways, this extension of our energetic body, our true selves into the world. Another om, pushing the button, doing that for as long as you like. And this week, my higher self has suggested in this third part, which is the part in which we extend some kind of energy to a situation or place on the planet. And my higher self suggested that we work with the concept that our true selves are enlightened, are conscious beings, and imagine that we could transmit that kind of higher consciousness into all of humanity, so that as humanity senses that, each one within themselves, they can go beyond this point that we're in right now. They can feel that energy uplifting and consciousness going on and finding the answers and finding the purpose in life and the joy of being embodied. And so that's what we'll do in the third part. There is a little message in that, which is that the giver has the power. And so when we extend an energy out, it frees us from our negativity, from our fear, and allows us to actually communicate through our highest energies. Let's begin. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath into your body. Breathe out slowly through your mouth. And ask your higher self, your own inner voice, the intuitive essence of your soul, to take a form for you. Doesn't matter what that form appears as at this moment. It could be a light, a being, a tree, an animal, an equation, whatever form it takes. See it now. And now ask your higher self to touch your body where you hold your divine essence at this moment. Just imagine a touch anywhere on your body and begin to breathe in through that touch so that you're receiving and linking to that higher energy of your own true self, your higher self. Om. Good. And now for this last part. Breathe deeply into your body and allow your higher self to connect to you in that way that allows you to experience that you are a conscious being, a wise being, a cosmic conscious being, and that you can seed that and extend that into all of humanity to uplift them, to help them to go on at this moment. So bring all of humanity into your mind's eye and ask them what frequency of light they need from you at this moment to find that sense of self, cosmic, conscious self, to be uplifted by it, to feel themselves capable of seeing a bigger hologram and being a gift to the world. What is the color that they ask for from you? Whatever color comes into your consciousness, again, imagine that you are drawing that exact color from the cosmos down through the top of your head and extend it out through your solar plexus to all of humanity. Feel that energy flowing through you and out from you, extending out into all of humanity, allowing that frequency of light to activate an awakening of consciousness, a sense of going on, of being uplifted and uplifting others. Oh. And take a deep breath. And open your eyes. And this next part of our Sunday meditation is called Knowings. And it is a question and answer conversation that we have that can be heard by everyone who tunes in around the world. And each week we receive questions from around the world. So if you have a question in your heart that's important to you, send it to the Light Institute, and I will attempt to work with that at our next or future Sunday Knowings. And so Allison will give us these questions now. Allison?
Chris, the first question comes from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Chris, I attended your body workshop at the beginning of this year, and you gave a beautiful talk about fear being the only disease. I would very much like to hear you talk about this again in your knowings. Thank you.
My higher self gave me that message many, many years ago. Fear is the only disease. And what that means is that when we are afraid of our body, are we afraid of death, are we afraid of disease, as so many people are at this moment on the planet, it causes a negative reaction, a physiological, emotional, and psychic negative reaction in the body that causes us to be vulnerable, to activate a kind of magnetism that actually attracts that potential to us. Very often we think, well, my aunt or someone in my family had this disease and therefore I will inherit it. That kind of concept amplifies that vulnerability to it. When we have fear, what it does is it contracts, it squeezes our organs, it squeezes our body so that our energy does not flow through the body. In Chinese medicine, we have a very powerful understanding. It says, Qi follows blood, blood follows Qi. Qi is life force energy. So if the life force energy follows our blood and our blood is being held because we're afraid, then the life force energy cannot protect us. It cannot create what we call this Wei Qi energy, which is our aura, an energy that extends out, an electromagnetic energy that science recognizes that extends out from us, that does not allow negative energies to come in. Fear is a very low vibration. It's a very slow energy. And so it opens, because it's so slow, and allows anything to come in. When we want to protect ourselves, when we want to be above the fray, above the possibility of some imbalance in our bodies or our consciousness, we want to extend an energy out that quickens our frequency. Because if you have a high frequency, energies, this is a law, this is a cosmic law, energies have to be equal to yours or faster to get in. So you can see why fear is the only disease, because it creates that opening. And what I have learned in all my many, many years of working in health is that we actually select diseases and imbalances that somehow relate to our karma, relate to the themes. Each part of our body tells a story. For example, you can guess the theme of the heart, can't you? Or the pancreas, both of them. They're about energy, they're about love. Giving love and receiving love. So if somebody has heart trouble in the family, look for energies of fear. Fear of the other, fear of the self, fear of life. Fear of life is one of the biggest blockages that we have to that sense of I am here and I will be well and strong throughout my embodiment until I am ready to leave. I myself have had 6 near-death experiences, and I know that no matter what disease you call upon, you cannot get out of your body until you have finished what it is that you came for. So let it be that what we came for is not fear, is not contraction, but it's a fearless state of higher emotions, a fearless kind of energy that has a sense of self that says, I've come to give a gift. Maybe that gift is my smile, or my capacity to listen, or my capacity to care, or to join in with others. All of those things bring us purpose and the power of living well in life. So do not be afraid, because fear is a terrible, terrible source of all imbalance. Allison.
The next question comes from Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Chris, I've heard you speak about picking up other people's thoughts and emotions, and I feel this might be happening to me. Will you please talk about the best way to stay centered in my own energy?
That's a fabulous segue to what we were just talking about. Again, if you're in a contractive state, then you are open to other people's energies. This is something that people often feel. Oh, I went to a place and I felt tired afterwards, or after I've been with this person, I always feel negative or angry or something. Yes, you may be picking up their energies, but it's not their fault. It's because you have within you a resonant likeness to that energy. So you're vulnerable to it because your bodily frequency recognizes the anger or the fear or the negativity that's there. We as a collective species here have a theme, and that theme is to blame everybody else, as if they had the power over our lives. And sometimes we feel that, don't we? But in effect, spiritually, it's not true. And so, yes, you may be picking up somebody's energy, but it's not their fault. And sometimes, like my mother would say, if you want to know how you are, look at your friends. So you can be conscious of who you choose to be around. If somebody's negative, you might give a gift to them, which is something that we can talk about at some point. But what you want to do is to draw in a higher frequency and extend that energy out. When you extend that energy out, again, you're not going to take in the negative energies of others. In fact, you're going to be a gift to them because you will influence them to uplift themselves and to find a place where they can say, everything is okay, or let me look at it from a more positive perspective. So you want to be that kind of person, rather than being afraid of the negative energies around you. Be the one that exudes and extends. When I walk in airports or when I walk in public, I am always practicing that art of drawing the white light in and extending it out and exuding a kind of energy that brings a sense of safety to everyone around me, a sense of peace to everyone around me. And therefore, of course, when I do that, that's how I feel. And so I am not picking up anything from anyone else. And by the way, I think this is a very important point of reference for consciousness, because if you're at that frequency, you're not likely to pick up any communicable diseases either. because there is a question that is unanswered by science, and that is, why do some people attract or come down with every disease that everyone else has around them, and some people never do? Now, science would say it's their immunity. Yes. And I would say, and what makes that immunity strong? A sense of self that says, I'm not here to be sick. I'm not here to be overwhelmed by anything. I am here to use life in a positive way. And so don't hang on to that conversation of, this isn't mine, I'm picking up something and it's theirs. No. And by the way, if you feel that you have picked up something, there's an easy exercise in consciousness to remove that. Where am I holding that negative energy that I just sucked in? And find a place in your body. Let your body tell you. Bring your consciousness to that place and ask it what frequency of light. That's the highest healing, because everything is made of light. It needs to release that negative energy and then laser that color into that place in your body with that sense. When I bring this color in, that negativity will leave me. You'll be amazed at how different you feel. Another way to really exude that strong energy that negativity can't come in is by spinning around. You've heard me talk about that. Open your arms like a child and spin clockwise to the right. And when you do that, you're spinning out centrifugal force. You spin out any negativity or any chatter in you that blocks you from being a peaceful and safe person. Great love. Yes, Alison.
The last question comes from Spain.
Oh. Hello, Spain.
Chris, a lot of people are angry about the limitations to their freedom, and so am I. What would you advise?
Oh, yes, that is a universal theme at this moment. The conversation of how can I be free and who dares to keep me from being free, whether that's freedom to leave your home, freedom to touch someone or to be with someone, or any kind of freedom to eat what you want, etc., etc. We can find that conversation in many, many situations in our life. And so we can be absorbed by that. And again, it comes back to that place. Who's blocking our freedom? Who has more power than we do? My higher self says, listen to this. It was a great teaching for me. Freedom comes from within. I learned this working with prisoners in both Bolivia and in New Mexico, that you can be locked in a jail, but your consciousness can set you free. Your heart can set you free. No one can touch that. No one can touch your mind. No one can touch the direction of your energy or the actions that you take. That belongs to one of my favorite words, which is choice. So choose to be free within yourself. One of the things that's happening right now with all this sequestering in our homes, kind of thing, that's causing a lot of anger. Certainly in the United States, people are saying that's against our Constitution. But there's a wonderful gift in this exercise, and it's that as a group on this planet, we haven't really learned that for the highest good kind of conversation. In other words, if you have to stay in your home for a few weeks or a few months, and you know that that's going to save lives, would you not do that? Would you not be free to choose that and say, I'll stay at home and find ways to feel my freedom, freedom to expand my creativity, freedom to send my love into the world, my healing energy, freedom to feel the power of my choices? Because even if someone says you, by law, by whatever, you may not leave your home or you may not do this or that, you can turn that around and say, okay, I will choose that for the good of the whole, because by so doing, I am participating in the healing of not only my family or friends or the people in my country, but around the world. And that makes it easy, and it makes it desirable to do it. So we can shift from the anger that someone else is locking us in to a place where we begin to find the freedom from within. Some of that may be to imagine, to use your imagination, for example, to smell the flowers, or to feel the wetness of water in the ocean or a lake or in a rain. We can always expand our sense of experience, our sense of reality, through the power of our own consciousness. So again, shift from that anger and know, and of course, by the way, if you feel passionately about that, you have the right to talk to your governments and so forth and so on and say, let's change this. Maybe it's about how long this happens or what are the laws. You can go out and keep that social distance. There are many ways to move a law, to move a constriction, so that you can be comfortable with it. But the bottom line and the gift, because as we say at the Light Institute, what is the gift in every experience that we have? So the gift here, truly, is how can you experience the power for the highest good, for the good of the whole, so that everyone is gifted by your choice. Great love.